Hi, folks. Mr. Ruley here for today's edition of Storytime. Now, today I would like to read another edition of Dragon Masters. Now, this one is The Land of the Spring Dragon. Now, I had a lot of students asking me, "Hey, Mr. Ruley, can you read the next book?" Awesome. I'm totally happy to do that, so thanks for asking. Now, I looked here and I don't have book 2 right now. Those are all checked out, which really is a good problem to have because it means people are reading and I'm super stoked on that. Keep in mind there are still Dragon Masters books available in the front office. So looking through there, I saw that this one was about the spring dragon, and in honor of spring coming up, I thought it'd be a great one to read. So the other thing I was kind of thinking is, it's a good chance to be flexible. Even though book 2 isn't available, well, that doesn't mean that we should just shut down, that we should be upset, that we should make everybody else change here. Let's just be flexible, and we'll pick a different story, and we're going to enjoy this just as much. So when we look at my notes here for chapter 1, really it's going to summarize the previous book. And even though it's a little out of order, it's not that big a deal. We're going to learn a little bit of information because it'll summarize what happened in the previous book at the beginning of this one. Now, we're also going to be learning new characters here, and we'll be looking at a little bit of plot in chapter 1 and what happens in the story. And they're going to talk about having to rebuild Bracken. Bracken is the city that was destroyed in the previous book. So one question I have for you is, how are they planning on rebuilding Bracken? So be looking for that when we're going through this story here today. In chapter 1, from Land of the Spring Dragon, Hope for Bracken. Drake couldn't stop thinking about what had happened to the kingdom of Bracken. Images flashed through his mind. Tall trees snapped in half. Fields once green with crops, now cracked and crumbled. Wood from broken houses scattered across the dirt. Or to their home. Looks like it was ravaged by something in the previous chapter or previous book. But what you need to know now is the city was destroyed and they're having to rebuild it. A few hours before, an earthquake had struck. An evil wizard named Maldred had controlled a powerful dragon called the Naga. He ordered the Naga to attack Bracken. Okay, so that's a good little summary of what happened. Drake and a team of Dragon Masters had stopped Maldred, but not in time to save Bracken. The earthquake had destroyed the crops. That meant the whole kingdom could go hungry. We need to fix our land, Drake thought. I will do whatever it takes. Drake, are you listening? Asked Griffith, the king's wizard. Sorry, Griffith, Drake said, coming out of his thoughts. Drake and the other 2 Dragon Masters, Petra and Rory, were with Griffith in his workshop in the bottom of King Roland's castle. Petra was reading aloud from a book. Continue, Petra, Griffith said. Everyone listen closely. We may have found a way to rebuild Bracken. Oh, okay, let's see how. Petra nodded, her blonde curls bouncing. Every year when winter ends, the spring dragon brings spring back to the land of Inis Banba. She read from the book. This dragon is connected to nature. She makes plants grow. Oh, that's perfect, Rory said. Maybe this spring dragon can make the crops in our kingdom grow back. We will have to go to Inis Banba and ask the spring dragon for her help, Drake said. Finding this dragon might not be easy, Petra said. This book says she lives in a world hidden inside Inis Banba. The only one who can enter this world and find the dragon is her dragon master. Okay, so how are they going to rebuild Bracken? All right. Then we shall find the Dragon Master, Griffith said. The wizard opened a box carved with pictures of dragons. The large green dragon stone glimmered inside. Griffith waved his hand over the stone. Show me the Dragon Master of the Spring Dragon, he said. The dragon stone began to glow. Green light shot out of it. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I wonder what this new Dragon Master will be like, Drake thought. A picture appeared inside the light. A good girl with curly red hair and freckles stood in a field of wildflowers next to a stone well. Her green eyes looked through wire spectacles, and like the other Dragon Masters, she wore a piece of the dragon stone around her neck. We found her, Drake cried. I think it's kind of an interesting way to put that. Through her wire spectacles, her glasses. All right, that's the end of chapter 1. Let's go ahead and look forward to chapter 2 real quick. Now, in chapter 2, we learn about the new Dragon Master. And so the questions I have for you are, well, who is she? Who is this new Dragon Master? And what do you know about her already? So be looking for that as we read Chapter 2. Chapter 2, a new Dragon Master. The red-haired girl's eyes narrowed. Who said that? She asked. Petra gasped. She heard us? Drake had seen the Dragonstone work before. You could see and hear the Dragon Master inside the green beam of light, but the Dragon Master usually couldn't see or hear you. Griffith's eyes widened. This is very unusual. This well must be some kind of portal, he muttered, stroking his long white beard. The girl looked into the well. I can see you in the water, she said. I see one skinny wizard and 3 Dragon Masters. Why are you spying on me? We aren't spying on you, Drake replied. We need your help. Our kingdom was hit by an earthquake. It destroyed our crops. We read that the spring dragon can make plants grow, Petra added. Can you bring her here to fix our crops? Rory asked. Interesting. Portal. The girl's eyes twinkled. This is a great line. Do people in your land not know the word please? She asked. Please, can you help us? Drake asked. That word always does help, especially when said with the right tone. That is not up to me, she said. That is up to Fallon. Is that your dragon's name? Petra asked. The girl nodded. Yes, and I am Breen, she answered. Okay, so we know her name, Breen. I am Fallon's dragon master, but Fallon is not like other dragons. She belongs to everyone who lives in Inisbanba. Even though I am her master, I cannot command her to leave this land. She must decide that on her own. Well, just then, Breen's dragon stone glowed green, and she shut her eyes. Drake knew that she was hearing her dragon's voice inside her head. Fallon says that she will see one brave dragon master, she said. Rory frowned. Just one? Very few humans are allowed in Fallon's hidden world, Breen answered. Interesting. Drake shall go, Griffith said. His earth dragon, Worm, can transport there in a flash. There's no time to waste. You'll find me in Maeve's meadow, Breen said. Then the green light faded. Drake's stomach fluttered. He and Worm had traveled to faraway lands before, but Drake had always had at least one friend with him. Petra touched Drake's arm. Don't worry, Drake. You can do this, she said. Rory smiled. Go bring us that dragon and save Bracken. I won't let you down, Drake promised. Drake left the wizard's workshop. Worm was waiting for him. We need to go to Inisbanba right away, he told his dragon, to meet a dragon master named Breen in a place called Maeve's Meadow. Can you get us there? Worm nodded, and Drake put his hands on Worm's scales. Let's go, Drake cried. He closed his eyes as a bright green light flashed. That's a cool little power there. All right, and that's the end of the chapter. The next chapter will be called The Test. All right, folks. Thanks for joining me today for Storytime. Hope you're enjoying this new Dragon Masters books. You take good care, folks.